as is the inclusive language guide being used by the Methodist Church of Great Britain. They put out a guide for how the churches should use their language when it comes to this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Methodist Church Inclusive Language Guide. What is meant by inclusive language? Speaking, worshiping, and writing in an inclusive way is about engaging positively with as many people as possible. At times, we might find that people feel excluded or harmed by something we say, not because we have any bad intentions, but simply because our turn of phrase was automatic or unconscious. When we make an effort to use inclusive language, we are simply trying to be more aware. Yes, this is DEI, diversity, equity, not equality, equity, and inclusiveness. That's what this is. Keep going. Be open to correction. Remember, this is being passed down from the top of the church, Methodist Church. You may use words you consider to be inclusive, but find that someone corrects you. Be open to listening to the reasons they give you, and for not using the word or phrase you have used, and understand that their thoughts are as valid as your own. Just keeps going. Human relationships come in many varied expressions. There's an infinite variety in the way that God's creation is expressed in human life. They're basically saying God made like gay people. That's what they're trying to say with that. This is worth bearing in mind as we speak and write. Terminology such as husband and wife may sound inoffensive, but it makes assumptions about a family or personal life that is not the reality for many people. The words parent, partner, and child are a good place to start. Carer is also a neutral yet understandable way to refer to the primary carer of a child. Not mom, not dad. No, carer. That's what they want. That's what the church is putting out there. Gender neutral language. We can subconsciously use phrase that may be misinterpreted as us favoring one sex over another, such as guys or fellows. Just like I call everybody dude, whether it's guy or girl, doesn't matter. What's up, dude? But that's offensive. Oh no. Yeah, I've had people complain that I've called a woman a chick before. I received an email from somebody saying, you should be more respectful and not use the word chick when referring to it. Seriously? In reference to this, try gender neutral language such as folks, teammates, friends, colleagues, or simply people. We might as well just throw in comrade while we're at it. Similarly, the word man, I call everybody man as well, used as a verb, who is manning the front desk, for example, can make people feel excluded. This is legit coming from a church. Now, I'm not just going through this just to laugh at it. I got a point here. Just hang with me. Referring to an adult woman as girl could be read or heard as demeaning, especially if we do not refer to men as boys. I'm shocked they didn't put chick in there as well. So they give an example: gender identity, expression, and fluidity. Gender identity and gender expression are two different things. Really? Wow. Gender expression is how somebody outwardly presents themselves to the world. Their gender identity may or may not match this. See how convoluted this is? How confusing it is? That's how you know it's from Satan. He is the author of confusion. He's the author of lies. So they make it as confusing as possible. That's where it comes from. God doesn't change. He makes it easy for everybody to understand. I mean, he had fishermen, as disciples. Come on now. Sharing your own pronouns help to create a safe space. There's the word or the phrase for people to be themselves. In an online meeting, some people share their pronouns after their names. For example, Gemma Hyde, she, her, or Jay Walker, they, them. Yeah, they just keep on going with it. But who helped promote this type of thing? All About Trans. Let's see. GLAAD. Hey, there's GLAAD there. The people who are involved in Hollywood to make sure that there's enough alphabet agenda and representation in movies. Yeah, they're an organization that the Methodist Church is promoting in this group. Plus racial equity tools, rise, freedom from abuse and violence, and on and on and on. There's a lot more pages to that. We're not going to go through everything. I think you get the point. But there is one section in there that I do want to point out specifically. It doesn't have to do with the alphabet stuff or anything like that. No, it actually has to do with the race. They have an entire section for making sure you don't use racist language and stuff. It's worth considering the need for the church to take a restorative approach to any communication on the subject of racism, slavery, anti-Semitism, and Islamophobia. Yeah, they got to throw that in there too. An attempt to speak or write in a way that is not simple, or it is not simply not racist, but is actively anti-racist. Language is powerful here. The words used to discuss power, privilege, and racism and discrimination mean different things to different people. Confusing, convoluted, so you know it's Satan. Language can uphold systems of white supremacy or encourage breaking it down or questioning it. Then it goes on to talk about the Methodist Church, and including making sure you use the word ethnicity rather than race, as because, you know, all that stuff. Now, why am I pointing that out specifically? Okay, you know how I started out saying sometimes because there's a bigger bad, we tend to overlook the smaller bad. Okay, I just went through that page with the Methodist Church. I mean, it's extreme, so to say, right? And then I pointed out the racist part of that, right? Now, we can all agree that's bad. We should not support that, right? We shouldn't support any of that at all. As Christians, we should not support that. What if I told you Hillsong is doing the same thing? Oh, it changes now, doesn't it? Because it's Hillsong. You like their music, right? Yeah, Hillsong's got an entire section on this. Hillsong Church is an ethnically and racially diverse church committed to biblical reconciliation, healing, and unity. As a global church centered on Jesus and his gospel, we are compelled to ensure that the good news truly is for all people. Yeah, they don't mean it in the way that the Bible is saying it. No, they're talking about races. Yeah. Through this, we are committed to ensuring that all people experience justice, that's social justice, equity and fairness, inclusion and belonging. Our mission to be a healthy church changing lives through Christ is foundational to our commitment. We believe, with the Bible as our guide, that biblical reconciliation and ethnic and racial healing and unity are essential components to discipleship. Let's keep going. Let's see who's in charge. This is straight on Hillsong's website. If you don't believe me, if you think I'm just attacking a church by making something up, go and look it up. It's right there on the front page. You can find the section for this. They got a global racial diversity and equity inclusion committee. That's right. And it's interesting because if you look, you got Harry Finda, I think. He used to work as a policy advisor to the United Kingdom government, parliament, and numerous international organizations. That's concerning. But what's even more concerning is one of the other people is Fadzi Ronde. Now, we've talked all about the United Nations and stuff like that, right? Well, Fadzi is the Senior Diversity and Inclusion Advisor at the United Nations Human Rights Office in Geneva, Switzerland. And she's running the diversity and inclusion section of Hillsong International. Let's keep going, shall we? We said we were committed to providing strategic direction to enable us as a global church to make progress in ethnic and racial healing and unity. What we did, we established a global committee, developed a global healing and unity strategy to help direct our strategic planning policy and governance process, established a theological framework for us to lead from, developed healing and unity committees in Australia and the UK, hired a full-time global manager for, that's right, Hillsong hired a full-time DEI global manager for all their churches. We said we were committed to improving representation and being a global church, which looks like and serves its community. What we did, began to assess the ethnic and racial diversity of our leadership team and staff across our various locations. There's a whole lot of talk about all these airlines who are removing qualified white pilots and hiring women and black pilots based on diversity. Well, guess what? Hillsong's doing the same thing. But I like their music, so it's okay, right? Right? That's the excuse I get told. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little fired up, but I'm sick of the excuses on this. Let's keep it going. We said we were committed to disciplining our staff and volunteers to increase their awareness and equip them to create ethnically and racially healed and united environments across our church. What we did: engaged external experts to help develop discipleship programs and trainings, finished the creation of a high-quality discipleship program, a 9-hour mandatory video resource composed on numerous global experts and lead staff. 9-hour mandatory video on DEI for Hillsong Church. Provided healing and unity equipping for the global lead pastoral team. Provided racial diversity and inclusion training to the global church board. Used our platform to educate, highlight, and promote ethnic and racial healing and unity. There's a bunch more. I just picked some stuff. You can find it on their website. I'm tired. And yeah, I'm fired up. Deal with it. I'm tired of the excuses where 1 minute you will just absolutely rain down bombs on some secular corporation out there because they have a DEI program doing the exact same things that we just read from Hillsong's thing. But you go, it's okay if I support this group because I like their music. You see the hypocrisy? You see the ridiculousness? I'm just done. I'm just done. But hey, we'll call out the wokeness and the leftness of organizations that don't provide the music we like. But because Hillsong gives us that music, I'll let it slide.